In today's video, we're going to be talking about the leave it cue. And what I mean by that is we're not going to say leave it at all. I like to teach an implied leave it or an automatic leave it. And I've noticed that with dogs, that comparing dogs who know a leave it cue versus dogs that know a implied leave it is that dogs get really sneaky if they know a leave it cue. A lot of times I've noticed that if I'm not there to say leave it, they're stealing that food. They're stealing anything and everything that they can. Whereas if I teach my dog a get it cue instead of a leave it cue, then I'm able to leave that tempting plate of food and go get my drink and know my dogs will not go and steal my food, even if I can't see them. So in this video, you're going to need two things. One of them is optional though. You're going to need a boundary, some type of boundary. I really like this boundary and the fact that I chose Atlas for this video simply because there is borders around the entire boundary. So it really helps with everything. Sit. No. Good. So it helps give a clear boundary for the dog. It makes the definition between being on the boundary versus off the boundary very clear to the dog. So it'll make teaching the automatic leave it super, super easy. If you don't have a boundary, no worries. We are going to go over another option if you don't have that boundary. So stay tuned, keep watching the video, and let's get training. All right, so I have my dog on their boundary, and I'm going to start with a couple pieces of kibble in my hand, and I'm going to present it to my dog. Atlas has played this game before, so hopefully he'll make mistakes, but I'm going to present it to my dog with my hand open. If he goes for the food, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to close my hand. No. The second he backs away, I'm going to reopen my hand and present the food to him again. Yes. No. If my hand is able to stay open and he has backed away from it or isn't lunging at the piece of food, then I'm going to reward that with a yes, and I'm going to deliver a treat to him. Anytime he goes for the food, I'm going to close my hand, say no, and wait, for him to back up. As you can see, Atlas is very offended every time I have to tell him no. Yes. I really like that option of laying down. That was a really good option, or that was a really good choice. All right, reloaded my hand. Yes. When your dog is kind of to the level of where he's consistently leaving it alone, that's perfect. That's when you know you can move on to the next level, which is placing it on the floor. Now, if he were to break his boundary, then I would simply cover the food and say no, very similarly to what I did while it was in my hand. But since he's maintaining his boundary, I can count that as a win right now, and I can mark that with my yes and reward it and bring the piece of food to him is what I mean. So I'm going to reload. Yes. Yes. Since he's had so much practice on his boundary, it makes this step and even the next progression a little bit easier for him to be successful, which is why I really like to start this game on a boundary. So the next progression is actually dropping the food. Yes. If I can drop the food and he maintains his boundary, then I am going to mark that with a yes and reward it. If he were to get off the boundary, I would simply cover it, say no, mark it with my no, ask him to get back on the boundary, and then I would uncover it, redrop, and try again, dropping it. You can make it even more difficult by dropping more. Yes. And once your dog kind of gets to the point of being able to maintain their boundary, you can start upping the ante and using more valuable dog food or food in general. So maybe I would use treats. Yes. I can't reach that food, so I'm going to tell you to go get that. Go get it. Good job. Back to your climb. Nice. Good boy. And then it doesn't always have to be progressively harder. We can go back to the beginning stages where it was easier. Yes. For our dogs. Yes. Yes. Good job. Those are the steps with the boundary. It goes a little bit faster because he knows that he needs to maintain his boundary no matter what is going on around him. So let's get him off his boundary and see what happens when he is just loose and doing his own thing. I wanted to pause for a really quick moment and talk about my online course, Pawsitive Focus. It goes over everything you could need for a dog, whether you just got a brand new puppy, you rescued a dog from the shelter, or you just have some behavioral issues that you would like to top up and improve a little bit around your house. We go over household struggles, household manners, really, reactivity, so your dog's barking at other dogs or other people, and also we go over loose leash walking. And in those three categories, we go over your step 1, step 2, step 3, and we progress it so that it's more and more difficult for your dog, so that your dog actually learns something and you actually see some type of progress with your dog. I am so proud of everything we've done with this course. And so if you are interested and you would like more information, go ahead and click the link either up in the corner or down in the description below, and you will find so much more information about this course on my website. All right, so I've released Atlas from his boundary and we're going to start over. This is basically a new game to Atlas. Even though, like I said, he has done this before. I unfortunately don't have a dog right now who has never done the automatic leave it game, but it is still different when you have your dog on a boundary in a controlled situation versus when they're just free and out and about. So this within itself, just having the dog free, can make it even more difficult for your dog. So we're going to start back in the super easy way in our hand. I'm going to present my hand. It's closed. It's going to stay closed until, I'm so glad you didn't go for that. Get it. If something like that happens and your dog does go for it, no worries. So I'm going to present my hand. Atlas is going to mug me. The second he looks away or backs away from the food, yes. All right. I'm going to open my hand. Yes. And I'm going to bring the food to Atlas. As you can see in previous, I guess, trainings, I have used yes as a release to get the food from my hand. I don't teach it that way anymore. I want to make sure that yes means you did something right, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can free yourself from the control you have. So I'm going to present the food, let him mug me, open it. The second he backs away, no. If he goes for it again, I'm going to mark it no with my no and then close my hand. But I'm going to reopen it again as fast as possible. Yes. No. If he stays backed away, I'm going to mark it with my yes and bring the treat to him. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Good. Yes, get it. If you want to release your dog to your hand, maybe you only have one treat left, then that's when you would use your get it cue, just like I did. So I said my yes, that marks you did something right. You had control over yourself to not go for the food. And then I said get it. So yes, get it. Get it was the action. You now have permission to go get that food. All right, now we're going to start on level 2, which is on the floor. Starting with it covered because he went for it. I want to make sure you guys can still see, so I'm going to back it away just a little bit. Yes. I'm going to pick it up and yes. Dang, you were fast. You were fast, dude. All right, I'm going to throw a piece out so I can talk to you for a second. So what had happened there was basically I rewarded him for having self-control and not lunging for the food. But when I did that, he decided he was going to go and get that other piece of food on the ground. So I'm going to adjust just slightly with what I'm doing. I'm going to have probably 2 pieces of food on the ground. He's maintaining control. I'm going to mark it with a yes. Good. Yes. And since that time he decided he was going to remain in that down away from the food and not lunge for it, I immediately rewarded that second time. Now we can wait it out just a little bit more, but I'm still going to start with, I grabbed 3, so I guess 3 pieces of food, but not a lot. I'm not going to grab a whole handful or anything like that. I'm trying to have people see, bud. There we go. Yes. Creating more distance away from Atlas will make it easier for him as well. If I were to have the food super close to him, it might be easier for him to just go and grab it real quick. Yes. So keep that in mind. Distance from your dog can also create a whole new level of difficulty. Yes. All right, he's doing pretty good now with that. So now we're going to move to dropping the food. I'm only going to drop 1 at a time, unless it's by accident, and then he's going to grab it from me. But I'm going to drop it, and I'm ready to cover it because I'm pretty sure he's a little amped up. Pretty sure he's going to go for it. All right, I was proven wrong. Yes. Yes. It could also be that I'm dropping it further away from him than that piece fell. So as you can see, everything's a work in progress. Nothing is perfect. And that's okay. There we go. Yes, good boy. All right, I'm going to drop it again. Apparently we're doing it in our hand. That's fine. Yes. Yes. I have a tiny piece left. Yes. 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 I want another piece of drop towards him. Dang it. And if your dog is faster than you, that's all you can do is just laugh it off. Don't get angry at yourself. Don't get angry at your dog. Just try again and either try and make it easier on yourself so that you can be faster by dropping it further away, or easier on your dog, yes, by dropping it further away. Or even go into the next, or the previous difficulty. All right, one more, bud. Yes. Now let's go where I'm dropping multiple. This could be a train wreck. Every time I say that, you do great. So maybe I need to say that more often. Yes. Good boy. Yes, good job. That time was pretty close to him, so I rewarded both of those to show him that, yeah, that was a great job. Do more like that. And that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. I'm more than happy to help you out. And also, if you want to expand this and learn more about household manners with your dogs, check out my online course, Pawsitive Focus. It is great for household manners, for loose leash walking, for reactivity with your dogs. And I really put my heart and soul into this course. So I hope you guys check it out. Enjoyed the video. You know, do all that fun stuff. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram. I'm posting a whole bunch of tips and tricks on there, as well as in my stories, you get a sneak peek of what my life is like with my dogs. That was a big burp. I don't know if the microphone caught that. Goofball. All right, guys. Have a great day and keep on training.